Alright guys, and welcome to the final installment to our three-part training session. Today is a Sunday. Sorry it took so long, but I had to investigate the software thoroughly. Let me get rid of these headphones, not helping me at all. And come up with a plan for you guys so that you can get down to work as quickly as possible. Now, I know that we were talking about using OpenShot, but after investigation, the latest version of OpenShot is a little bit problematic. So instead, I have reverted to using Kdenlive. Let me show you. Okay, Kdenlive. You can just Google it and it will take you to the website, kdenlive.org, and you can download the program and install it. It should look something like what you are seeing on the screen right now. Okay. But before we get to that point, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about a preparation for your project. Now, if you have done your part one correctly and gone out and shoot stuff, you would realize now that you have tons and tons of files, lots and lots of. By the way, as you can see on the left hand side, I'm using RecForge to record the audio. Again, a wonderful program. It's connected to my phone and my phone is hanging just off frame here to the left. I brought it in so that you can see it, that's all. Let me move it off the frame right now, just a little bit to the side. Okay, so you need to organize the files, guys. You're going to have hundreds of video files, hundreds of audio files, hundreds of photographs. It's just going to be madness, okay? More importantly, when you record your video and your audio, your files are going to be named according to the date and time. It's not going to be a very logical or a descriptive name. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is to actually organize your files by day or by time or by location. Okay, so if you're shooting outdoors in the garden, please feel free to rename your files Outdoor Garden Ian Interview Part 1. Okay, be descriptive. You can write as many words as you want, I think up to 256 characters, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason is you get to use the search function in Windows and Mac OS to look for these clips later on. Imagine if you got 100 clips, all right, and you don't know if you're looking for an interview that happened in the kitchen. All you need to do is do a search for interview, kitchen, boom. Everything is going to turn up. You just click and use it. Okay, guys, that's step one. Step two, if you have recorded audio separately, like what I'm doing on RecForge as well, what I like to do is actually rename the audio file exactly the same as the video file. Okay, so the reason for that is easy. When I search for a file, it'll give me two versions. One is the video file and one is the audio file. Okay, I don't have to look twice. Okay, I'm a stickler for performance. I like things done very quickly for me. Unfortunately, that requires a couple of hours of organization on your part. Okay, all right, so let's begin by talking about video editing. What exactly is a video editor? Now, over here, this is the link to the OpenShot website. Please feel free to go and check it out. All right. They also have a support column here where they have user guides and all that. Okay, a lot of informative and interesting training tutorial is available there. You can also go to the Kdenlive website and you have features, contribution, user manual. There's help everywhere for you guys. Okay. You can even go on YouTube and just type Kdenlive tutorial and there are a bunch of YouTube tutorials there to help you out. So here's the question. If there's so many tutorials, why are you here? Why are you listening to me? Well, I'm going to squeeze everything down to within 5 minutes. That's right, guys. I'm going to try and do this in 5 to 10 minutes only. All right. I know the first 2 days have been long because, to be honest with you, those are the two most important parts to creating a fantastic video. Video editing is just putting all of the things together. Okay. With that said, if you want to be a professional video editor, this course, or rather this aspect of video production, is the most technical, complicated, and time-consuming to learn because there are just so many things to cover. We can't do that today, all right? And it'll be unfair if I sat down here for the next 4 hours try to teach them to you. It's just not possible. Okay, so maybe we can do this again some other time, and we can, if you're interested. But for now, let's just get started with work. Okay, guys? Okay, so all videos consist of three main elements. Okay, you know this right now. These three elements are video files. Okay, from today onwards, we call them clips, video clips. Okay, audio files, audio clips, we'll refer to them as audio clips, and images, still images, photographs, graphics, but in an inanimate form. That means a static frame. Okay, and these three things, if you mix and match them appropriately, you can make any video you've ever seen on TV. All right, regardless of what format, what medium, they all consist of video files, audio files, and still or static images. Okay, even those animations, text flying around, logos flying around, yeah, they're all video files, guys. Okay, so if anything is moving, it's a video file. If you hear a sound, it's an audio file. If you see a logo or something stuck there static and it's not moving, chances are it is a still or an image file. Okay, so there are three ways to get these things done. Video files are created using your phone or your camera to shoot a video. Audio files are you use software like, by the way, is my thing still running? Let me see. It's still running. Okay. Audio files, you use software like RecForge with microphones, stuff like that. For image files, you use a camera as well. You take a photograph. Or you can actually draw and create those image files yourself. So before I begin, I'm going to show you where you can get all of these free stuff to play with, to begin with, to muck around with. And let's look at some websites which have stuff for you. Okay. First website I want to show you is Pexels, P-E-X-E-L-S. It's a free website where you can download photographs, video files. These are video files. And you can even there's a community here where you can follow these people. They specialize in stuff like this person, Cats Coming, everything about cats. You can use it. Min An, she's a girl in, I think, Vietnam as well. I'm not sure, you have to check. And she does photography. Catherine Strafe focuses on food. Okay. You can download, you can use these programs, and even if you want to use them in your own work, you can. But there are certain caveats. You have to pay attention to the licensing. Sometimes you will need to thank them in your video. At the end, put the credits. Okay. It all depends on the website. Okay. Now you have Pexels. Pexels is one of them. Another one is Pixabay, another free website. They've also got tons and tons of stuff that you can download and use, animations, you name it. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful, high quality images for your presentations. Okay. All right. So you've got photos, you've got videos, and your camera, you're set, except for one more. And that one is under the YouTube Studio. So here's what's going to happen, guys. If you have a Gmail account and you want to download or get some free software, free music, the easiest way to do so would be to subscribe to your own or create your own YouTube channel. Okay, use your Gmail account, create a YouTube channel, and go into the YouTube Studio setting. This is YouTube Studio. Okay, this is interface right now is my YouTube Studio for my email. You can go enter here. Okay, and if you look on the left hand side of the screen, if you follow my mouse, right at the bottom, you will see Audio Library. All right. And there you go, guys. Free music, free sound effects, tons and tons of audio files that you can use, you can download. Just go to the right hand side over here. There is the download section. Click that. Download the file to wherever you want. The format you will be downloading it in is MP3. Small, comprehensive, decent quality sound file. Okay? Now, with that said, the reason I'm recommending YouTube Studio is because the majority of you will want to share your finished product with your judges, your contestants, with your customers, with your friends, with your lecturers, and you will most probably be hosting it on YouTube so people can download or access your video. Okay, and as you know, YouTube is now owned by Facebook as well, or is it the other way around? Yeah, Facebook now owns YouTube. Okay, so a lot of these permissions that you have right here in YouTube also probably transfers to Facebook as well. So yeah, it's all about copyright, guys. I know you guys don't want to spend money right now. I don't blame you, neither do I. Use the YouTube Studio sound clips, special effects clips to download, play with it, learn. And when you are done, put a copy of your video onto YouTube and permissions would be sorted. Okay? All right. Next, after you've learned to download videos, shoot videos, sound, there's one more very important aspect which I would like to introduce to you is the image manipulation. Okay, now everybody knows Photoshop. I use Photoshop. I've been a user of Photoshop since the 80s when it first came out. All right, we installed the program using floppy drives. Today, you guys are so lucky because you can get fantastic software for free, which are just as powerful as Photoshop. Okay, and this one that I'm showing you is called photopea.com. Okay, you can see on here on the top right hand side, photopea.com. It takes you to a website which has a Photoshop clone embedded in the browser. Okay, if you're familiar with Photoshop and you know how to use layers, paths and all that, you can create fantastic and wonderful stuff right in your browser itself. In fact, let me open a file. Okay, let me go look for one. I should have one in our folder called sample. Where is it? Okay, it's still in there. I'm going to take this food photograph, open it up. It takes some time, guys. Remember, you're working on the internet, right? And boom, you have a lot of things that you can do. Okay, I'm not going to explain all of these things right now to you because, to be honest, when I teach Photoshop as a subject, it takes 3 months, approximately 3 months of constant training to master the software. Okay, 5 minutes, it's just not going to cut it. But it is a starting point. It is a place for you to get good, efficient workflow or software to start with. I highly recommend this one. Another one that is actually very interesting is the GIMP or GIMP software. All right. GIMP stands for New Image Manipulation Program. It looks just like Photoshop. Doesn't run as fast. It's not as efficient. But here's the thing, guys. This is a software that you can download and install into your machine. You don't need to be online to use it. Okay. This one, you need to be online, stay online, and it'll work. Okay. So, yeah, both of these programs have their advantages. I personally don't like going online every time I need something. I need the software immediately, and it works. Okay, guys, give it a shot, download it. Again, go on YouTube, look at all the tutorials. If you have a question, a very specific question about it, let me know, and I will get back to you and think. All right, so let's now begin to talk about the software, Kdenlive. Before we begin, I'd just like to recap on a few points. There are 3 file types or 3 kinds of files that you need to learn how to use in any video editing software. Okay, guys? All video editing suites are the same. Okay? They just take the files in, manipulate it, and then generate a new file. Now, this concept of video editing is called non-linear editing. Okay? That means you can take any file and switch them around in any sequence. Okay? Non-linear. You don't have to start at the beginning and then work your way down to the end. You can start editing the end of the video and come backwards. Totally free will. Okay? You can do anything you want. It is also called a non-destructive editing method because when you bring in the files, when you import the files into the software, the original files are still on your hard disk. They are not being destroyed at all. Okay? Even if you cut the videos, if you trim them, you change them around, add color, play with brightness and settings and all that, the original files are untouched. Okay, this is very important to remember. Okay, some people are afraid. They say, I dare not do this. Once I import the file, the original file is already gone. That's wrong. Okay, remember that. Number 3, and this is the one that everyone misunderstands. Your video editing suite works by linking to the master file. In other words, if you close the program, if you close Kdenlive, you save a project, you close it, you come back tomorrow, open the file, Kdenlive will have to look for each and every video, photo, and audio file and reconnect with those files. Okay? If you move the folder to another hard disk or you move it just next door in another folder, Kdenlive won't be able to find all the clips and you will not have a video file. It'll show you error. There'll be errors all over the place. Okay? So organize your files, guys. Put everything in one main folder, video, photo, and all that, including your project file from Kdenlive, all in one big folder. Okay? Yes, it is going to be in gigabytes of size, memory. When I do a project, I have one dedicated hard disk per customer. That's 2 terabytes or 1 terabyte of data, one customer. I just did a project, 3 hard disks for one customer. So, yeah, like I said, video editing is one of the hardest things you can do. You have to get ready for that. Okay? All right, so let's get into Kdenlive and let's look at the interface right now. This is the interface. I have made my face smaller on the top right-hand side. In fact, I'll just make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so guys, Kdenlive is, well, basically just a series of windows. Okay? But the interesting thing is that all of these windows are similar across the entire spectrum of video editing tools. All right? Regardless of what software you use, Kdenlive, OpenShot, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Avid Media Composer, Lightworks, I could go on, Sony Vegas, they all follow the same metaphor. And the metaphor here is the timeline metaphor. Okay? When you bring in a clip, it is going to have a very similar look and feel. Okay? Now, to change the look and feel, all you need to do is to go to the, I'm going to put my face in the center for a while. Sorry, let me bear with me. Right. I want you to go to that corner over there and click on the blue buttons. Can you see my mouse? Let's see. Yeah, you can see my mouse. All right. So you've got logging, editing, audio, effects, and color. These are interfaces, guys. Okay. If I click on editing, did you see what happened? The screen just changed. Okay. Let me move it around. Yeah. See that? If I click on audio, it changed again. All right. If I click on effects, which is color effects, it changed again. Click on color grading, it changed again. Okay. Now, if you are familiar with video editing and you've used quite a few programs, you will soon begin to appreciate just how powerful Kdenlive is over OpenShot. Okay, it has a lot of features which professional editors want, and I will explain those features to you. Okay, I will not be able to explain everything. Okay, if you look at the number of options that are available in here, it's just madness. Right? One video cannot cut it. But you will need to know these basic functions to make your life easier and to make it more enjoyable when you do stuff. Okay. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to import those video clips. All right. So if you go to the project folder here, this side, can you see my mouse? Yeah. Right click. Okay. And you can choose what you want. You can add a clip. Notice it's called a clip. It's not called a file. Okay. You can add a clip or a folder. All right. If you're efficient, or rather if you're a little bit OCD like me, I like to make folders. Okay. And you can click all the buttons here to do the organization. There's a button over here on the right hand side. Oh dear, you can't see the interface. That is a sad thing. But if you can see the interface right now, you should be able to see a lot of settings. Okay. And what I am going to do is I'm just going to bring in the videos very quickly so that we can get to work. Okay. I'm going to go to my hard disk. I'm going to go. I'm sorry you're not seeing this right now, but bear with me. Okay. And I'm going to bring in one video file. And there you go. The video file is imported and it is now displayed in this preview window or a clip window. Okay. If you press the play icon here at the bottom, it plays the clip. And notice something, guys. It is playing smoothly. Okay. It is not jerking. It is not stuttering. It is not getting jammed. And that's important. All right. If your computer is underpowered, if your computer is an older model, if you don't have enough memory, if it's just slow, that video file will stutter, it will jerk, it will jam, it will get stuck, okay? And that is one of the key reasons that a lot of people don't like video editing, because their equipment is not up to standard, it's not up to par. But this program is awesome because this program takes that into consideration. This program thinks of you and it helps you make a choice. So I'm going to show you something really cool. If you look in this area over here, let me move my face again to this side, sorry. Right. If you look where my mouse is pointing to in this area over here, you will find a setting. All right. It says 1:1, 720p. Oh no, the interface is not showing as well, but never mind. Just click on the button, guys. Have a look. It says a few things. It has a lot of numbers in there. It's got 720, 540, 360, 270. What those numbers now, I have selected the 270p, okay? What that means is you're telling the computer, I would like you to take this video file and generate the image at this resolution, which is 270p, which is a small resolution, a small size, okay? Now that, ladies and gentlemen, instantly makes this video file playable on the slowest of computers. All right, if you have an i3 computer or an i5 computer with not enough memory, your computer can now handle it and it can play. Okay, now here's the best part, guys. This is a very professional feature. Okay, OpenShot doesn't have it. A lot of other programs don't have it. Kdenlive does. And that's why I'm choosing Kdenlive for you guys to play with. Okay, so for your demonstration purposes, I'm going to set it to back to the original, which is 1:1, simply because my my computer is powerful. Okay, it can handle it, so don't worry about it. All right, so I've imported a video file. I am now going to import an audio file. Okay, I'm going to go look for it. I'm going to click Add Clip and find it. If it's organized appropriately, you will come in. There you go. You can see an audio file. When you click it, it shows you all these waves. All right, this green thing over here is a waveform. If you play it, it plays the file. Now, right now, it's not playing anything because it's going to my headset. All right, can you hear it? Yeah, you can. Let me put the music there for you. All right. If you don't hear any music, then your settings are a little bit awry. Go to their website, go to their browser and see what are the settings that is recommended. Okay, but chances are if you just install it clean onto a brand new or a clean Windows version of Windows, it should work straight away. It is pretty reliable in that regard. Okay, next I am going to import a still image. Okay, and I'm going to again look in my folder, and I have imported a still. There you go. See that? 3 files. One is a video file, one is an audio file, and one is a JPEG. Okay. And I'm going to take a break here right now, and I want you to just pay attention to what I'm about to say. True mastery of video editing is mastery of the whole craft. Okay. To produce a really great video, you need to produce great content at the very beginning. Okay. Practitioners of video editing believe in the GIGO principle: garbage in, garbage out. Okay. If the video is blur, if it's shaky, if it's badly shot, there is nothing you can do in the editing suite to make it better. Okay, guys? Now, with that said, you can use the editing suite to enhance it a little bit. Okay, I can make it look a little bit better. When I say a little bit, we're talking about 5%, 4%, 3%. We're not talking of 100% better. Okay? So, if you look at your footage, it looks bad. It is bad, guys. Please don't say, I can fix it later when I'm editing. Okay? Go shoot it again. That's the fastest way. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you need to know all the file formats that you can use in the editing software. So I'm just going to list them down here at the bottom. These are the video formats that you want. Okay? These formats down here can be used by the majority of editing software. Okay? We are going to use the MP4 format, the MOV format, and the AVI format. Okay? There are literally tens and maybe 100 or more different formats being invented every day. Okay? And that's fine. Okay? But I like to use the MP4 format because it is small, the file size is small, and the quality is decent. Okay? For sound, you also have a lot of formats, tons and tons of formats. But we are going to use the smallest one, which is MP3, which is what you know. There are also the higher end and the bigger file sizes like WAV, W-A-V, and AIFF, which is a Mac format. And it is, I think, defunct already. Okay, it's not being used much anymore. MP3 is pretty much the best that you can use right now. So please go and download and use MP3 songs. All right. The third, and this one is the cool one, is the still format, the photograph format. Now, if you're familiar with photography or if you're familiar with still imagery, there are tons and tons of formats out there. You've got JPEGs, BMPs, bitmaps, PNGs, you've got PSDs, you've got RAW, you've got DNG. I could go on and on. Okay. Each of these file formats has a strength. Okay. Not going to go into it. Instead, I'm going to mention two formats that you will want to investigate. Format number one is JPEG, which is what everybody knows how to use. All your phones produce JPEGs. Cool? Right. Format number two, and this is the one that we want to use for titles sometimes, is PNG. Okay? Because PNG stands for Portable Network Graphics. It was a format that was designed for internet use, for browser use. Excuse me, I need a sip of coffee. And PNG format allows you to create something called a transparency. Right? That means I can put some text on the screen and make everything else transparent. So it appears as though that the text is floating on top of the video. Okay? Not going to teach that to you as well because it's actually easy to do and the tutorials are in abundance on YouTube. Okay? All you need to know is that just focus on these two file formats. So let's recap. For video, it's MPEG-4, AVI, MOV, that's cool. For music or audio files, it's MP3 or WAV or AIFF. And for photographs, still images, you want to use JPEGs and you want to use PNGs. Now, I know a lot of you who are designers out there probably saying, oh, I can use EPS and AI and all that. Yes and no, all right? Depending on the software. Some software will allow you to do so, some doesn't. Today, we are learning the most primitive and basic entry point file formats. Okay, guys? Very short video. Remember, I intend to stop this video in about 10 to 15 minutes, okay? So I have to accelerate. Okay, guys? All right, so let's move on. If you look at the screen right now, I've got the three files. First thing I want to do is I want to take these files and I want to look at them. So I'm going to click the video, the cameraman, and I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to press the space bar. Magic button. Spacebar, okay? Spacebar plays the clip. The same thing for the music. You can click that, press spacebar, it plays the clip as well. And if you look at the bottom here on the right hand side, you will see this VU meter. VU stands for volume unit unit meter. And that tells you whether the sound file is too loud, too soft, distorted, and whatever. Okay. This recording was actually provided by YouTube, so the levels should be good. If you are recording this by yourself using RecForge, this may be low. So you need to learn how to adjust the volume and all that at a later date. The third one is the photograph. And if I press the space bar, the bar plays, but nothing happens. Well, simply because it's a photograph, guys. Nothing is happening. It's not moving anywhere. Okay, remember that. All right, let's look down at the bottom here. Okay, this is your timeline window. Okay, this is the important one. What is a timeline window, guys? I tell you what, I'm going to take a little break and have a sip of coffee, and then I'll start. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Had a coffee, rejuvenated. Let's finish this video, shall we? All right, so this is the timeline window, and it's called a timeline window because videos are linear formats, okay? When you watch a video, you watch at the beginning, time 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, that's the time format. And the video will continue. It will play and play and play. If you are watching a movie or feature film, it will continue to play in a linear fashion for the next 2.5 hours. Okay? That is video, guys. One of the most important elements in a video is time. Okay? Which is why this competition that you've entered, they have given you a time constraint. You need to produce a video which is a maximum of 2 minutes long. Okay? If you don't give the contestants a time limit, or if you don't give the video producer a time limit, they will be producing content forever. You can make a video that's 100 years long. Okay, your computer, there's no limitation. You can make this timeline can go on literally for, I think, 20 or 99 hours. It depends on the software. All right. But in our case, we want to go to 2 minutes. So if I click here, all right, on the timeline, and I click and drag, what I am doing right now is called scrubbing. My hand is doing that. It's like I'm scrubbing something. Okay. And what I'm doing is I'm going to move the bar, the playhead, we call this the playhead, right to the beginning at 0, 0, 0. Okay? Now you know it's 0, 0, 0 if you look over here. Can you see that? That's your time code. And right now it is at 0, 0, 0. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the cameraman and I'm just going to drag the man here. Notice you get 2 files. Can you see that? All right. If I put it on V2, which is the top layer, there's one more file at the bottom. If I put it on V1, that file comes up. All right. See this? I can move it left, right, center, wherever I want. Now, why are there 2 files? Well, if you know, video doesn't just consist of a video image. It also consists of sound. And these 2 files, these 2 elements are joined. Okay, guys? They are connected. Okay? If you, let me just press, by the way, you can put the playhead here and press the space bar. It will play. See that? Okay. Let me wear my headset, see whether there's sound. Right. No sound was recorded, but the file does have an audio track. Okay? Don't be alarmed, all right? It's not a mistake. That happens. Things like that happen. Okay? If I really want to demonstrate that, let me go and look for another file, something that I shot on my own, and see whether I have a video clip of myself. Oh, yes, there is. Yeah, let me put it in. Let me just set it up. Right. Can you hear that?
You know how to adjust the...
Now, if you notice, when I put the clip in the timeline and I press the spacebar, the video plays on the right screen, which is basically, let me move myself out of the way now. I'm blocking everything, sorry. Yeah. All right. See, if I put the video clip over here and I press spacebar here, the video plays in this window. All right. That window on the right is called the project window. That is where the final result is being played. If I click the file here, all right, and I play it, let me go back to the project. It plays in the left window. And the left window is called the clip monitor or the preview window. Now there are two windows here for a reason, okay? This one shows you the finished product. You can put filters, you can put effects on it, and it will appear on the right hand side. On the left hand side shows you the native file, the original file, so that you can choose what you want. You can trim, you can cut, you can do all of those fancy stuff. Okay, guys? Now we're not going to do that right now, but what I want you to pay attention to is on the timeline window here. I am moving this video clip around, and if you notice, you can see that the bottom part of the video file actually has a waveform. Can you see those spikes, those green colored spikes over there? That's a waveform. If you see those spikes, that means this file has audio connected to it. Okay? If I move the video file upwards, yeah, it will split the audio as well. And the reason they do that is because you can layer video clips one on top of the other like this. See this area here? See this? All right. You can see the cameraman is playing, and then very soon it is going to jump to me. Okay, guys? That concept is called layering. Okay, and that is the power of video editing. We can put videos on top of each other, merge them together, play with transparencies and all that to create wonderful, wonderful artwork. Okay, but in this scenario, I just want you to not get confused. Okay, just because a video is split doesn't mean that these are two separate files. They are basically still one file. Easy to check, click, drag. If they move together, awesome sauce. All right. All right. So I'm going to delete this file because I'm not going to use it. It's way too long. What I'm going to do next is bring in the photo. Okay. And I'm going to click the photo file here. I'm going to drag it to the timeline and I'm going to put it on the same layer as the video. Okay. So let's by the way, guys, you can move it around like this. You can also go to the edge of the clip and drag to make it longer or shorter. Okay. Now, if this is a photograph, you can make it as long as you want. It does not matter. If it's a video file, you cannot make it longer than the original length. Okay. Let me recap. I can make it shorter like this. This is called trimming. Okay. But I cannot pull it longer than its original length. Okay, guys, remember this. Stills, not a problem. Video cannot be done. Let's bring in the audio as well. Okay, I'm going to click the audio and I'm going to drag it and I'm going to put it underneath. Okay, if you look on the left hand side of the screen, you've got labels that say A1 and V1, A2, V2. All right, A is for audio tracks, V is for video tracks. All right. If you take your audio track and put it in the V area, it will not go. Okay, guys. So, like I said, it's quite logical. It's not rocket science. Press spacebar. Let's take the audio. And if you listen to it, you can hear the audio playing. Okay, guys. By the way, I do recommend that you edit with headphones, because you do not want to irritate your neighbors, number one. Number two, some of the sounds that you hear emanating from your laptop or from your desktop speakers are not going to be clear. All right, remember guys, this is a professional outfit. and we want to have the best control over all of the elements. Headsets are designed to give you very, very good monitoring capabilities, especially if you buy a decent pair of headphones. Okay, this headphone I paid 18 ringgit. I don't know how cheap that is, but it's really, really, really dirt cheap. Okay, I have another pair over there which I paid, which is about 500 ringgit. I've got another pair in my studio there which costs 3,000 ringgit, and the difference is night and day. This one will give you entry-level sound, much better than your laptop speakers. That one better than this. The one in the studio, top of the line. I can even hear every nuance right down to his breathing and all of the mistakes in his pronunciation as well. Okay, don't buy those headphones. Just get a simple pair like this and your editing will improve. Okay, right. All right, so we are almost coming to the end right now. We are now going to try to manipulate files. Okay, so watch this. Remember I told you earlier that this is a hang on, let me move this clip. Right, okay. All right, so remember I told you in the beginning that this is a non-linear editing format. So non-linear means I can take this clip, I can move it all the way to the back. I can take this one, move it all the way to the front. Okay, I can bring in other clips as well, like this, drag it in. I can put this clip in front here. Let me see what I want to do with this one. Yeah, let's take this out, take this out. Okay, I can trim the clip. That means I go to the end and drag. I only want this part. This one, I only want this part. I can join it like this, side by side. Okay, if I play it, watch. Right? It seamlessly plays. It continues to play. Okay, and if you have all of your clips combined and you stick it in there, it's going to work beautifully. Okay, I can also take this photo and put it on top like this. Let's see how it works. See that? The photo is sitting on top of the video. That's the concept of layering, guys. Okay, that is where you actually move stuff around and play with it. All right. Now, if you go to the top right hand corner here and you click on effects work, audio work, editing work, and color grading and color correction, okay, the interface changes to help you work better. All right, your job is to go and muck around with all of those things and try to get a proper edit done. Okay, guys. All right, so let me recap again. Bring in all your clips, arrange them sequentially, yeah? What is on the left starts first, followed by what comes next. You do not need to put the audio file in yet. Like in this music clip, we don't put it in. Instead, what you do is you put in the audio, the RecForge clip here, all right, in the beginning. By the way, if I press the control button on the keyboard and the middle mouse wheel, if I do this, you get to zoom in very closely to the clip. All right, and that's what you want. You want to zoom in and out so that you can do very fine and minute adjustments. You see this? I'm nudging, I'm trimming, I'm doing all the fancy stuff easily. Okay, now over here you've also got other tools. Another tool that you want to use is the razor tool. See that? By the way, if you hover, if you leave your cursor there, it'll give you some letters. You've got X. So if you press X on the keyboard, you now have a razor. Watch this. I'm going to click here, cut that, click here, cut that, click here, cut that, click here, cut that. Oh, I'm cutting everything inside. All right, now don't forget, once you are done with the razor, you need to go back and click on this tool, which is your selection tool, which is an S. Now you can click and do all sorts of nonsense to the video files. See that? Dragging stuff all over the place. Okay. If you press play, it will play in the order that you arrange it. All right, guys? All right. Okay, so that is in a nutshell, one of the shortest videos that I can make, all right, to explain to you how to get things done into the editing studio. Now we're going to learn how to export this file. So if you look carefully on the top corner here, you have something that says render and stop render. All right, so let me explain to you what this means. If I click on the timeline, notice my mouse, and I press the space bar, you can see on the right hand side of the screen here 25.00 FPS. All right, FPS stands for frames per second. Okay, now I know for a fact that these video files were recorded at 25 frames per second. That means 25 images flying by in 1 second. FPS is the standard of video. Okay, if you bought your camera in Malaysia or in England, the recording standard that we subscribe to over here is called PAL, P-A-L, okay, and that is 25 frames or 50 frames per second. If you bought a camera in the States or in certain countries around the world, the standard that they subscribe to is NTSC, which is 30 or 60 frames per second. Now, why did this happen? Well, there are technical reasons for it. I won't get into it right now. But just suffice it to know that these standards are for broadcast specifications. Okay? If I want to broadcast a signal using traditional media, then these standards apply. I need to know what the station wants. If the station is an American station and I'm making a video for them, I need to produce in 30 frames per second. If it's a Malaysian station, it'll be 25 frames per second, and etc. etc. All right. For you guys, it is a moot subject or moot topic because we're producing for the internet, and the internet is platform or format agnostic. It does not care. YouTube does not care. You can give it any frames per second, it'll take it and it'll display it. Okay. Your laptop doesn't care, your handphone doesn't care, all right? The only people who care are the broadcasters and TV sets. That's right, guys. Some older TV sets only work with a PAL system. Some TV sets only work with an NTSC system. Modern TV sets, like the ones that I'm using here right now, are international. They're open. We call them open sets. They can work with PAL or NTSC. Not a problem. Okay? But let me draw your attention to that sign there on the right hand side, and I want you to watch when it becomes red. See that? Red means the computer cannot play the file back at 25 frames a second. It's struggling. It cannot process the file. Even this computer, which is supposedly quite high end, my laptop, by the way, okay, not my editing suite. Editing suite's in the other studio. But even my high-end laptop with lots of cores and processor struggles to play it back at 25 frames per second. So what we do is we tell the computer, hey, my good man, why don't you do this? Why don't you process everything first and then let me watch it once you're done? Okay? That process is called rendering, and that's what we're going to do right now by pressing the red button. Okay? There you go. Now, if you look at this one, oh dear. That's the problem with OBS. How do I do this? Let me think. Oh yeah, I have a simple way. Here we go. All right, so I'm back and I've just configured it, and you have the settings on the screen right now. And when you press the render button, you get to generate the final file. Okay, guys, and you have render project, job queue, render project, job queue, and scripts, and a lot of other settings that will blow your mind. Okay, instead what I want you to do is I want you to focus on just a few things. All right, option number 1 is the output file up here. Okay, many people make the mistake of just pressing render and then they forget where they saved their file. So very important, guys, please send it to the appropriate folder so that you can find it at a later time. Okay, number 1. Number 2 is the file format. Now your original file was in MPEG 4. or MOV or AVI. Okay, the output file is important because now you need to take into consideration your customer's requirements. What can your customer play? What format can they play? Okay, chances are it's in MPEG-4 as well. So please click on MPEG-4, select MPEG-4, all right? And in this bottom section here, you get to select the quality of the video. You can select very high by clicking it right at the end, or very, well, I won't select low, but I'll select medium. What does this do, guys? This changes the quality of your image. If you select medium, the video file isn't as sharp. All right, the computer tries to squeeze the file, try to make the file smaller, okay, and quality is the sacrifice. I don't like that. I render all my files in maximum quality. All right, guys, but that's just me. Now, what's going to happen is when you do that, your files are going to be big, huge, okay? I leave that up to you. You play around. You're going to need to render the file a few times just to see what settings you have and whether you like it or not, okay? You also have encoder speed. If you click up here on the right hand side, okay, my computer has a dedicated graphics card, and this software uses the graphics card as a processing engine. So I can specify if I want to render faster or slower. But be warned, okay, sometimes when you set the speed too high, your computer will hang. So experiment with this at your own peril. And once you find a speed that is great for you, stick with it. Don't change. Okay, guys? Now, everything else here, like full project, selected zone, and all that, it's quite self-explanatory. Experiment. Once you are happy, click render to file, and you will see that it is now processing. Okay? Again, like I said, this is not a fast process. It is a slow one. Be patient, and it will go. There you go. It will generate the file in, not bad, 30 seconds. I am impressed. Now, my machine is quite powerful, so that is a decent speed for me. Your machine may be more powerful than my machine. It may not be as powerful as my machine. So your time will change. All right, guys? All right. Thank you very much. It's a short video. Let me recap before I leave things that will help you. Okay. Option number 1, organize your clips, name your clips, and then bring it in sequentially. Okay. That is most important. All right. Learn how to manipulate the timeline so that you can move things around. Learn how to cut clips, how to trim clips at the end. Okay. And then learn how to put in photographs as well, because you may want to take photos or download photos or charts and insert them into your timeline. Please feel free to do so. But remember to put those elements on top. Okay? If you put it underneath, no one's going to see it, guys. Remember, this is like a layer cake. It's like OHP transparencies. What's on top will be seen. Okay? Now, before I go, I'm going to show you the last trick, the very last trick, which will appeal to all of you. And that is the effects panel. Okay? The effects panel allows you to fix certain things. Okay? Again, I'm not going to go through all of these things over here. Way too many to finish in this video. So I'm just going to choose one, and the most important one, which is levels. Can you see this one here? Levels. Now you can select brightness, you can select everything else. All right. Lift, gamma, and gain, no problem. Please experiment. But I'm going to choose levels, and I'm going to drag it into this video clip here, like that. Let me show you again. Click and drag. All right. Now what has happened is I have applied a filter just to that clip. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to change certain things. So watch this. I'm going to move the playhead over the clip that I'm going to adjust. And then I'm going to go to the right-hand side over here. Let me move my face again. I'm in the way all the time. Wrong one. Hang on. Right. And move it over here. Right. Coming back to this area here. Let me see. All right, can you see my mouse? Here we go. Okay, and I am going to slide this bar up and down. Okay, let me show you. Can you see what's happening to the video? That's right, guys. I am making it brighter. I am making it less contrasty. I am making it more contrasty. The variations are endless. Okay, so please experiment. Drag a filter in, come to this side here, to the settings here, and then play with it. Once you are done, or if you like it, you can leave it. If you don't like it, just go to the rubbish bin on the right hand side over here and throw it away. Okay, guys? All right. But be forewarned, this is the part that is going to make or break your project. Every time you add a layer, you are doubling the size of the file. Your computer is going to slow down by half. Add another layer, it's going to slow down by a quarter. Add another layer, it'll slow down by an eighth. To the eighth. Well, not by an eighth, but to the eighth. Okay? So adding layers is not a good idea, guys. Not if you have a very standard laptop or a PC. Okay? If you have a high-end machine with lots of cores and lots of memory, yeah, you can go up to 8 or 9 layers. No problem. Okay? Filters also add to the processing power. So the more filters you add on top of each other, your computer is going to slow down even more. Okay, guys? So let's follow the last tip. Last tip before I go. Filters, titles, and music, you do last. Okay? Do not bring them in the beginning. In the beginning, organize your video clips, cut away the bad parts, make sure everything plays sequentially in the right order. Then bring in the video clip, bring in the photos that you want to add, and you can even bring in your titles. Now, I'm not teaching you how to do titles, but if you were to look, if you were to right click, now you can't see it right here, right now, but I'm right clicking in this window, there is an option to add a title clip. Title clip, guys, all right? And that is what I would highly recommend that you do. Right after watching this video, download Kdenlive and play with these settings. Okay, guys? Thank you very much for having me. Unfortunately, the truth be told that this is a 4-year degree program. If you do want to master everything that is available and be of a very good entry point into the industry, it is a long and arduous journey. But I think you have started fairly well, and hopefully with these tips you can proceed further. Again, my email is open to all of you, so please feel free to email me even after the 7 days. Introduce yourself, and I would be more than happy to help you guys out. Thank you very much, and see you soon. Take care.